inside, because people that are in their homes right now aren't selling unless they're forced to. And right now, prices aren't dropping for homes, but despite what's happening in the mortgage space. So I don't know. I think Carvana still has areas to go upside. We've definitely dipped down into this 34.40 area. That's the 50 period. We've been there before, and it seems like it wants to hold it. If you just bought this name yesterday, I mean, I don't have to tell you it's up 5%, but you've made a couple bucks right there off those bottoms of 36.50, right? So nicely done. It was actually at 36.50 this morning. What am I talking about? $3 straight to the upside here today. So Carvana might still be alive.
Yeah, what's interesting is it's not necessarily bad. Like if you think about it, even if car prices, used car prices come down, that just means it can be more affordable for people, and that can spur a little bit more demand for them. So it's not necessarily all bad. They have a bunch of inventory that they've been able to work through at least. And really, when you talk about them, it is the short squeeze play. That's the only reason. I'm not in this today. Sorry, I was just getting a bit. I had no
Seems like I
biz
should
out,
have
which is
just
weird.
stayed in
So like
bed
AMAC could have
today.
fallen, and I wouldn't have gotten any profit. But the only reason I'm not in this is I want something, when something squeezes, it's not buy the dip to me, it's play when shorts get kind of screwed, and they've been in so much control that the reversal is just kind of starting. Like, you need this to get back and break out again. If it starts going, you break 40, and then you'll close above 40 even, then you start breaking 41, then you get a base above that 40 level, that's what'll get me excited after this again. He turned HE, if you're still watching that, is making moves. I thought TTOO was going to make a run this afternoon. It's 3:23. I suppose maybe a little bit later or something. It's still some time for it to break. There's room to 60 and 65, but the longer it takes to break this high of the day, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if it was going to happen, I feel like it was happening. Wrong about that, then it goes to 50, and then
I see everything. Blaze over. Shine down, born of ice and frost. Illusion shattered.
I see everything. Make yourselves at home.
No touching. Now you shall perish.
So 7-1, or
The Temple of Wisdom.
This is long overdue. Fall back and await my orders. Access denied. Healthy body, healthy mind. Illusion shattered. Born to oblivion.
My contract goes.
HYMCW, isn't that Highcroft Mining? Maybe that halted. I think I'm going to sneeze at some point. But as we go on...
Isn't that who AMC?
Yeah, that's who it is. Okay. Anyways, at 350, this will all update and give us the closing trade. You know, whether or not it's going to be a long or a short, we'll figure that out. Oh, I just realized right now that I didn't push this over to see the time and sales.
Highcroft is 35 cents.
Yeah, 35 cents, Highcroft Mining. This is the warrant right there, 2 cents. So, I mean, if you want anything to moon, I mean, what if AMC says anything about Highcroft? I mean, this is only
They still own that stake, or whatever happened with that?
Maybe they mined the crap out of all the gold that wasn't there. I don't know.
No, they weren't. I don't think Highcroft was ever producing.
Right, exactly.
My knowledge.
So I don't know. I think that was just a share structure thing from Mr. Adam Aaron. I'm not going to talk about it. I don't. There's people out there that are AMC shareholders that know a heck of a lot more.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're still, maybe you're not. Maybe they took a bunch of profit and exposed together. I have no idea.
Steve G wants a lights check though.
What's up, Steve G? We should be hitting this like all day, every day.
Ooh, we have on likes right now. Take this opportunity to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You won't be disappointed. There's lots of bangs.
That was back when Sean used to wear sweaters. Now he only wears polos.
Yes, exactly. The thing is though, that's why I'm saying like we should have filmed one. I'm fine with that one. It's just like it's more fall, winter. That's the sweater I wore for the TD Bank thing that we gave in February.
No, I think I was wearing like
I don't have yours.
I was wearing a golf
up there.
No, you don't have to. But I think I was wearing short sleeves.
Oh, were you? Okay. I mean, I don't have Sharif's. No, I have Sean's.
I have this one.
Like, subscribe, and share the show that
so he's
takes
wearing
you
a long
from hard to market every day.
He wanted to refilm that, and of course, everyone's favorite.
Hola, like and subscribe today.
I mean, you got to look at me, you, or Sharif. So, you know, that's why we'll hit that one a little more often.
It's true.
All right.
We're just going to get out.
Oh, what we're excited for the close, and I should have put this on that board. We'll talk about it anyways. I didn't even put earnings on because generally there's not going to be anything. But isn't it Palo Alto?
That's me. Palo Alto is the big one. And remember, it's like you were saying this morning. Look, Ford is holding, it's breaking VWAP. I just got right out of it. It wasn't moving anyways, but PAN-W, a lot of times when you change, like move up earnings or whatever you might do with the date, like a lot of times it's red is bad. Yeah. And then remember Fortinet.
Chill out! Before me, worm!
What is
Insignificant pest!
This morning it felt like that. And now all of a sudden you have a bit of
Everyone hold hands.
If they were to come out with
The Rex Lapis.
Feeble human!
The Temple of Wisdom. Are you okay? No touching.
you get one of the biggest and baddest names that everyone's interested in looking at, which is crazy.
I am the all-knowing God!
It'll come to me.
Burn to oblivion!
Consolidating for a drop. Now we're just still
Hey.
consolidating.
Kneel!
Everyone hold hands. I can fix this.
Now, your eyes have been opened.
Well, I didn't say, but if I felt like this was the monster level,
Reality
Sharing my
is
life.
pain! Good riddance, cruel world.
Next on the agenda. Access denied.
Possible.
Sayonara special!
All hail.
And stir! Dumpty dumpty doo! Make yourselves a room! Everyone hold hands! Yeah!
No touching.
I can't.
I would have got out anyways, but it has pulled back. And I just wonder about this. There's not too many names that, you know, are down here right now at these levels. I mean, there are some tech names that have pulled back, but none that are near their very lows back in December, January. So I really feel like Disney has an opportunity to hold this. I don't know. It's kind of like, and I know that PayPal's getting the goods today back up to the upside, and so is, I did New York, NASDAQ, bouncing, and it just, again, even PayPal's taken out that low and made lows, but I just wonder at some point if valuation of some of these companies is going to come into play, because some of the other names that are down there near those lows are companies that like just don't make money. Like Disney is a good company, blue chip name that's obviously been through the ringer on a couple different issues. We all know about what those are as far as you know, politics and whatnot go. But for me, it's not even about that. It's just about, you know, trying to play off of the streaming. Maybe they get that all figured out. Not necessarily a move back to the theaters, but we do know that the writers' strike is obviously still going on. That's having something. The actors, but I wonder, and it could be an absolute nothing burger again. But what about if and when, you know, Brendan brings the news to us that both the writers' strike and the actors' guild, I guess, is now over with? Does that rally Disney a couple of points? So I don't know if we're getting close to that or not, and I haven't heard anything. So I just think that there are some catalysts that could drive Disney northbound right now, and that's really what you're looking for as a trader, is not necessarily what the current value of a stock is, but potentially where we're going with that stock. So I you know, looking at Disney, I do think that we have football coming back, which is going to be great for ESPN. They have that new deal with Penn, and then they have Hulu and a couple other streaming options that they can still push. And then again, like we mentioned, if they get back,
If
and
you're
then
not sure what to
Disney,
do
we talked
next,
about this, Neil, some of
how
the
about I
movies,
take you on a walk?
Disney, Marvel, all that coming back on. They've had to delay.
I'm super excited for like Ahsoka's coming out. So
Yeah, they've had to delay a lot of those releases, right?
that
So
that was already kind of done.
that one's already done.
That's Disney's problem. Is like Disney's problem is like the only people that watch Disney are people like myself. Like you have like the hardcore like Star Wars fans, hardcore Marvel people, and if you have kids, you got a bunch of Disney content. And it's just like they don't have, like Netflix has all that stuff. It's like, yeah, they just have so many things on Netflix that you can
These
just
bombs,
you can just
so
hack into
heavy.
it. Like the Johnny Manziel things out of nowhere. Like go watch the Bernie Madoff. And all this, it's also interesting. They have a bunch of foreign stuff. It's like, how do they have like 10 different foreign crime things that are all really good to watch and people are telling me I should watch? And we pull one up, it's like, that's actually pretty good. But Netflix,
Do you want to come fish
this is
frosting
what I
with
was
me?
going to talk
I'll
about
get
all
grounded
day.
for a whole day, but it's way
Netflix
worth it because the
400
fish
today will
tastes
buy
so
what we want. But if you look
good.
at this on the daily, if we did just make a bottom, you can't tell me we couldn't see
These
420,
bombs,
430
so heavy.
next week. It is a strong upward trend. It has been pulling back, but that pulls both ways. If this was a fake out today, and this was like just a trap that suckered everybody into thinking that we've turned, this works in both directions. Because if we're back underneath 400, I'd probably say exactly the opposite and want to short it. So Netflix was the one I wanted to get to. Someone had asked, what is X?
Dodoko,
It's
where
US
are
deal.
you?
They have look, they just have a bunch of a couple of offers on them. I thought this might bounce off the level, but it's a little bit late in the day for me to be trading this. You want to play this off of VWAP earlier, which is what my intention was. I left some bids out there. I did a pop
I
down.
see everything.
I stopped. Now I'm just
Shine down.
This off the side.
Coordination.
Hey, strike dead.
No rest for the wicked.
Inferior.
Let night fall.
There is no escape.
Everyone hold hands.
Now you shall perish. The eye sweeps the lands.
Just like we rehearsed.
Shattered. Illusion shattered.
Make yourself a home.
Lightning falls on the land of eternity. Euthymia crumbles before me.
But it's still fine. I don't know. I mean, I know I like the short to stock a lot of times, but it's making higher lows, man. And if it holds on to 32, the last couple of days have been absolute gold for a reversal day like this. I feel like it might make a press before it flushes, but I could be wrong. It's not really doing anything for me on the short right now. It's just kind of sitting, a little bit of the money, just looking for a VWAP retracement. It doesn't want to do that. It's like, hey, okay, market curled and then we got one. It's no longer going higher than it should, but it's like everything. We're just not breaking down. Nvidia stopped moving. Maybe it's a Friday thing. Nvidia's going sideways. Like if I was in Nvidia, I'd probably be trying to sit in the short, looking for a pullback for people taking profit, and it's not doing anything. So I don't want to force anything new. I just want to allow, like I've got stops on both these, and I will allow them to work, or just not. Like there's no point forcing any trades here at this point. E-Bond yelling out Costco. Oh no! Let me look at this. Are they really actually coming down? Why did it just spiked up $1.50 or whatever?
Costco?
No, that's nothing. On Costco, $1 is nothing, right? Like my daily chart's not really. Ooh, Costco's at the 50 period. See, this is a stink bid situation. Close beneath the 50. There's a 200 period on Costco. Why is it not loading? There it is. 500. 525. There's your stink bid. I'm just throwing it out there because I like Costco and I've never been in it. I own Walmart. It's the only retail name I own. And I've always been telling myself I should be getting into Costco. It's like I never did.
These bombs, so heavy.
I don't disagree with you. Like every time I want to get into it, I'm like, okay, I'm going to bid it and wait for it to come down, and then you know what happens. It doesn't actually come down. This is why people say dollar cost average. Yes. Because then you're just like, okay, well, you determine you're going to get into it. And
You're
then you just buy
trembling.
10%.
Is it the cold or just cowardice?
Same dollar, no, not 10%, but the same dollar.
Everyone hold hands. Strike the lightning line. Wings of darkness.
Into the frozen bowl. Insolent. There is no escape.
They bought them, so if any bad reporters comes out, or they maybe they catch them down. Things like that. So we are in a new position. We've actually been in this for a couple of minutes now. But we got some out in the 60s here. We're just short Microsoft right here at 85. Like right now, right here. We got to at 7, we got to at 67, and then it just did not go any further. So, yeah, very close to the position. Stopped out of the and this is what it's all about. 10 minutes left. We already got out of Coinbase. Looks like this. Whoa! Bye-bye. So there it is right there. We'll flush ourselves down the toilet. For an amazing
The Temple of Wisdom.
Probably a break long, guys. Probably a break long. But like you know, said, it feels like I'm just not doing that right now. I didn't think it was a great idea to get into anything before.
Torn to oblivion.
I just like the horror on it.
Cherry knowledge.
But I never asked for redemption. Never.
Back, big hold the camera breaks down, like the risk reward is fantastic. You can be short in here, give it to the local high, that's good. If you get to the high today, that could be a little bit reckless. But yeah, sometimes all that happens is it continues the trend to the upside and you take the L. So that's very likely what could happen here. We're at 342, so it is what it is. And then oddly enough, okay, well, I said it was probably dumb to have been in this, but if we pop top of a VWAP,
Each
I should be able
bomb's
to get out.
so heavy.
Steel, this is a much better trade when you're doing it all day long as opposed to at the end of the day when it can barely move. HE is trying to go. I'm sure everyone's going to trade the high because of what's happening in the NASDAQ. So I feel like I'm going to get stopped out of my shorts. I'll be lucky that I happen to have a US Steel long if the market pops up, so I can end up being flat on those. But yeah, the NASDAQ seems to want to get to the high. I'm not convinced that we're going to break it.
I don't see all the comments all the time, but I just think that this is, it's not even the cold hard reality, Dan. I mean, it just is the reality. Fundamentals do not matter for intraday trades.
No,
I mean,
no.
that's exactly, whenever you hear Neil and I talking about that, we're just kind of filling time. Again, there's no script here. We're just, talking about some of the trades that we're in. It's just about, it's all about tape and price. There is absolutely nothing else, whether or not you're reading technical analysis. And what he means by tape, of course, is the time and sales, and then everything that's happening in here. We're lucky, I've been lucky to sit in front of a live level 2 screen for 22 years. If I see anything, Neil, same way. If we see anything, we'll bring it up to you. Just like we saw Mullen trying to bid that up through $1, didn't work. If there's anything like that, there was a couple times on Amazon that we saw over and over and over again. But
Why wasn't I just short Mullen all day today?
and that's the other thing. No matter what you think about Mullen, that's another example, right? Is you can go over to Neil's. Yeah, I mean, Neil's talking about it right there. But
Today, I
that's
found
right.
a
If you have the thought,
really
was that
weird
$1? Is that what the
lizard.
level
Well,
is?
yesterday was
Want me
a
to show
solid
it to you?
fail, but then today,
Yeah.
it just takes the bottom range. Sometimes you look at the range if you like technicals. So this is the afternoon bottom, the 80 cents. I didn't hold it to 78, but it doesn't matter. And then into this 78 level, so that's your range. At the open, you say, okay, if it breaks that top, you're out. You can sit in it all pre-market long. It tries to push, get through this, which is the bottom. Fails that. So after the open, when it fails that low at 78,
This opportunity is quite hard to come by. Well then, amuse me. Surrender is a valid option. I promise I'll be gentle. Not bad. You've got a trick or two. No rest for the wicked.
We sat in the short, actually got some profit out there, but then it could not break anymore. And the same thing happened.
The Temple of Wisdom, just like we heard. Torn to oblivion.
I said it in the chat when you were talking about there's a difference between investing or sort of fundamentals and short-term trading. It's like left brain, right brain. Like you can have the knowledge in one side, but you try not to get enamored with it on the other side of it. So we can talk about fundamentals. I don't necessarily care about them in the trading. The one time that it actually mattered to me was when we're talking about something like VFX. Right, so when the other day, when VFS was going up, we're like, no, it's only looking for a short. Because it has no business being up here, and you know eventually, like, sanity is going to come back into it, so you're just overwhelmingly favoring one direction. That's about it. Like, that's where I would say fundamentals will give me a bias to just only look for a short trade. It doesn't mean I have to short the stock, but I'm only looking for a short until it got back to the downside. Here's another one, like Mullen. This at the open, I don't know what the heck happened to this at the open. Like, wow. This back at 18, I blame myself for all of us not being short 18. Look at this, breaks 18.
The only trades I had all week, and you were in the same one, we were short $30, and we had to get out at 28, like we couldn't do anything about it.
Look at the 18 short on this. Oh my goodness.
Like I said, tongue in cheek, like when it was at 30, it's going sub 10. So it was a SPAC. We've seen this all happen.
Oh,
man.
it's still going to 10.
It's still going to. It's going sub 10. It's going to $4. Like
What did it
I don't know. It's whatever the lowest.
What they
price
say is
it's going
true.
lower than
Well, that's why I'm not.
You have to
that's why
see
I'm
the
not
world for
married to
yourself
so-
to appreciate how beautiful it is.
I don't know.
$10.
No, a different stock was $4. Something else. That was that other one. No, that was the Golfing company. SPG.
Oh, SPGC.
That was $4.20. This one is $10.
Yeah, well, here's VFS. Yeah,
It's
I'm
a
not.
SPCG. Is it SPC?
So if you can, show. Yeah, there we go.
No,
So the problem with why I can't exactly call a price under 10 is because it was a SPAC, so it never de-SPAC. And then when it did de-SPAC, it did this. And this is where I was like, well, it's definitely going back to $10 because what happened to Fisker, what happened to Rivian IPO, Rivian never de-SPAC, but Nikola, things like that were once SPACs, crushed back in. Look,
Good thing we got out of them shorts. This market's
If you're
thing
not
is
sure
is
what
that,
to do
and I know
next,
Tony Price is joking.
how about I
need to
take
be
you on
rational
a
trader
walk?
because the market's irrational. The thing is that this was a very, very easy day to trade, in my opinion. There was, and people are going to argue that and say maybe it wasn't, whatever. I don't know. I mean, going by my net, this is my biggest day of the week. But the thing is that I really feel like you're just going to go over to Microsoft, and it's like as soon as it broke that level, the only thing is not having the conviction of going long. That's all. It's just like I didn't break the long. We didn't break the long in AMD. We didn't break the long in Microsoft. But Microsoft, despite these are all shorts, we're up on Microsoft good today.
Something on your mind
and,
again?
and same
Let's
thing
work
could be
through
said
it
for
together.
Amazon. We had that long.
Two heads
AMD,
are better than one.
everything. Tesla, my number one trade today. And P&L wise, the number one name on the whole show today is Tesla. Because look, it's just like you can find areas to go short. And if we wound up losing on this Tesla trade, I wouldn't lose as much as we made here because we have defined outs. And if we can't teach anything on the show, it's just teach risk management. And I mean, I don't get my whole day ruined because I'm stubborn about this Microsoft trade. It broke, so we got out. We took a 15-cent hit, after taking these trades. So anyways, is what it is. I think you have to be responsible with your gambling habits and also your trading habits.
Yeah, I can show the same chart.
Exactly.
Like Intel.
Get out of the way.
Intel is in an uptrend today. And it's a stupid wick to do a skill off. It's in an uptrend today, and it was great. Like the morning, I would say it this way. I thought the morning was very easy to trade. And then lunchtime was kind of like, nah. And then the afternoon, I guess you just really long. I gave up the only long I had, which was in Square, when AMAT turned around. So that's kind of my fault. I probably was too hasty about it. But you just have to have a stop. Out at the local high, sometimes again at the local high, again at that kind of like local high as well. And like, look at that's the thing. Like, I look at AMAT. Don't need to give it to the high of the day. Just have your trade, have your in, have your out.
This realm is truly...
Everything starts with an out for me. It's like, where am I wrong? And if I can determine where I'm wrong, then I can determine the trade. But what I meant by square is, sometimes you make a read, and it's like just entirely the wrong one, right? So Square was kind of cruising to the upside at a strong
If you ever
stop.
have
I
it...
liked it in the morning. If it held 55, I kind of missed that trade. Had it at VWAP, it was up. It was trading like 50 cents of money. And then AMAT turned, and I was like, oh no, Friday afternoon retracement. Let's just punch out a square. Forget about trailing out, forget about stopping out underneath VWAP. Let's just punch out because the market's turning. And then that was actually a buying opportunity on square. I can chuckle about it because I've probably done that a million times in my career. The imbalances are now out. Let's get over to those very quickly here for you. Flip. There you go, a couple of times. We will have... That fetch is $5 million to buy. It's a $2.50 stock, but that moved a little bit today. That's a penny stock, AMRS at 3 cents, $3 million. Apple to buy, $1.5 million. Verizon, who cares? What else do we have here? Looking for some other big names. Amazon to buy, 700,000. Alphabet, 700,000 as well. Cisco, 600,000, not that big. Intel's a sell. Okay, that kind of sucks for them. Like all the big techs a buy and Intel's a sell. Come on, Intel. Kenvue, I guess there's still some residual. Kenvue and J&J, obviously with the spin-off, they've been in the imbalances, but that hasn't really meant anything there. Penn, small buy. So it's mostly to the buy side. 2.5 million to buy is the total. So that 1.8 million sell didn't seem to mean anything. The market is deciding that it wants to close, hopefully green. I'm probably going to monitor this one. A penny stock with a 5 million sell like CGC, like if that doesn't pair off, like who's going to want to pair it? It's not a big notional value, but if that sticks around, there could be something there. Okay. It just went the other way, which is weird.
CGC today, okay.
Well, like CGC's up 10%. It's at the high of the day, and it's a 5 million sell imbalance.
What is that? What is the volume?
It's only done 26 million. Like the imbalance is quarter of the day. 20% of the day.
Where do I go? I see everything.
Okay, so we still think there just happens to be stock out on the morning number
I'm getting...
Let's end this now!
When's it sound?
So come join that right now. It's going to be a lot of fun. I do have the professor, the Pharaoh himself, coming on. We're going to talk about Leon. We're going to have some fun on the show as well. He'll be on about 4:15-ish, but we'll review everything. So if there's anything that maybe you feel like you missed or anything like that, hopefully we'll be able to discuss that with you guys live here today on a Friday. Friday's a busy time for many. My wife just messaged me that the kids are still on rides. It's 4 o'clock, so I don't know. My daughter has a hockey game, believe it or not, on August 18th. She has a game tonight in Oakville, so I don't know how she can have enough energy to do that, but hey, that's what kids are all about.
Boundless energy. That's what.
Meet
That's
my
the most
ski.
fun thing
So I can say that.
Like, it does energize you, like their energy.
You are not welcome here. Hey, sharing my knowledge.
I mentioned this part that
Really? Dumpy Dumpty Go! Let the magic begin! I'm out of here! Sweet dreams.
that could have been a better one up there. So J&J is a sell with Candy buy. You can probably figure out what's going on there. Apple is now all the way down to 900,000. It's already coming downside. Oftentimes you will see a big pairing event. So a lot of the New York and NASDAQ names on this list will go from a large number to a much smaller one. I would suspect that some of those buys would come in there as there'll be some sell. People will look at that and probably look to pair them off if they're looking to get risk off going into the weekend and take some profits on what has been an unbelievable long day. The NASDAQ for like 30 seconds, a minute, or whatever it was green. Not so much anymore. So we were green 5 minutes ago. I was like, yeah, the market wants to end green, and then that was about the moment that we turned. So you can blame me or throw something at me for turning the market. It's so true. Like,
I mean, I threw something at Sharif yesterday.
Sharif laughed.
Cisco thing, Drew Hill thing.
If I ever say anything about the market being strong when it's at the high of the day, I have a really bad luck about turning. It's weird. Like, I'll turn, if the market breaks the high, I turn that's the market turn, like every single bloody time. So I don't shut up and try not to actually do that anymore. I still think we're bearish. We have not changed these, and I think it's the right call because I know we're up today, but overall the market's just been in such a recovery that I think it's still a bit of a sell to the overall. I still think we're in the short term.
Look at that. That's too bad that we just got stopped there. We only had 20% left, but still. Hold that into there, but again.
Wow, I see everything! Fine, fine! Trip on them!
We got out there, but
Can't catch me! I'm getting famous!
Microsoft again, we got out, but right back in again. And this is where you don't want to ever look at your chart and say, again, you don't ever want to look, everything's probably flipped, right? So that's the difference. We got 355 a turnaround, although this started right away, like at 350 or so. But anyways, what I was getting at here was that you don't want to look back and say, oh yeah, look, I should have held it. You know, because you got to follow your rules.
An out's an out.
And an out is an out, and it's like, it is going to look bad when this comes back in. But again, I told you, we're already at the highest spot we've been at all week, and so happy for that. Steve G wants to know about 1K likes for Cat on the Bell. Well, we only have 650, so unless that really gets going, I mean, Cat comes on the bell regardless. It doesn't really.
She will, but just one thing. Like as Sean mentioned, the trade floor manager, Greg, it's his last day. He's been on the show a couple of times. He supports everybody here, not just by being a risk manager, but just by being a good trader and be able to sound ideas off of. So you've all benefited from Greg without even knowing it. Anybody that watches this show. So get to 1,000 likes for him. There's a lot of traders coming through today to pay the respects. As he's moving out of the and we're going to miss him a heck of a lot here. So do it, man. I actually think maybe we could get him on the bench. He's literally got flip-flops on. He's in chill mode right now.
So it's just a day ending in Y for him? Or?
It's just a day ending in Y. He has flip-flops actually not every day. Sometimes he has socks and flip-flops, which I think is a faux pas.
Still
I don't
flip-flops, still
I don't say anything. It still flops. You got to be comfortable here. I think he should ring the bell. Cat's right back there. We have 3 minutes to go. Maybe he's trading the close. I have no idea. There's a couple of imbalances out there. There's like what? Okay, what? Now he's yelling and I'm not leaving. He's leaving. We are not allowed to show off any Wolf of... The Wolf of Wall Street clip. Well, that's actually banned on the
If
floor.
you're not sure what to do
We had an old
next,
projector.
how about I
One
take
day
you on a
everyone was
walk?
Crushing it in the morning,
Yeah.
and I played on the projector like one of those like pump up things from Wolf of Wall Street, and then like one of every 3 people got LFT shut down because it was like that was like the highest part for the floor's neck because it pumped everybody up, and they started over trading at 11 o'clock. So it's like, yeah, don't do that anymore, Neil. Shout out to Xena there.
Yeah, I didn't trade NVIDIA today. I don't know. You mentioned about some levels where you maybe thought you could have got in. I think
That was NVIDIA was all money this morning.
Yeah.
It was a money short. Made some money in NVIDIA short earlier, then got busy. Would have been a good long to hold most of the day. What would be a good way to recognize that? How about this, Xenod? I got some work to do because I should have recognized myself. The short was great this morning. I did not spot it out either. I think once you make consecutive higher lows and hold
What
that
they say is
420 level,
true.
it's about
You
here
have
that
to
it
see
holds
the world for
420.
yourself
You
to
can start thinking
appreciate how
buy a block,
beautiful
that
it
was a
is.
pretty big level. And then here at VWAP, double bottom VWAP, that was another
just
place
run
to maybe
over there
look
now,
that
that's
long.
all.
Or just maybe break out that local high. Like you can be late to that party and have been good all the way. There's lots of places that you could have been in the turn that you feel like are late, but are just fine when it's trending. Because that was a very, very large reversal that I had no part of either. Like, we had the short then jammed off on the stock. So I'm with you there, Xena. There's lots of places we could have looked for it, and I just was not looking hard enough. That's the excuse. There was lots of good entry points when it showed you that there was enough strength. So 1 minute to go here. Most things have paired off. The market is pulling back in. So just for myself, I'm going to look at, yeah, that would have been okay. It is what it is. Like Sean said, you got to have an out, man. Like, it's not like you can look back and say, yeah, the shorts that we're holding would have been fine. They would have, but then you had to break your rules to get that profit. And if you break your rules to make profit, the market's going to reward you for doing a bad thing, and the next time it's going to do more than just slap you on the wrist. It's going to slap you in the face. So follow your rules, regardless of what the outcome is going to be, and you want to make good decisions. That's what it's all about. With 20 seconds to go.
Maybe it's going to be Ramin. Is Ramin going to run over there? What's going on?
Where's
Here she
Ramin?
comes.
How come Fabian never rings
It's
the bell?
Kat and Ramin. Let's go. How about
Fight.
both? Why not both? There we go, boys. I got both for you. Here we go. Coming up. Where's she going? Oh, there's actually 2. 5. They're
4,
battling. There's 3.
2.
All right, there we go. For what? Yeah. Well, I told you we get both those girls on, so there you go to everybody. I don't know, they're all just celebrating. It's Greg's last day, so shout out to Greg. We've already talked about that over and over again, so it's a good one, man. We're happy, everyone's happy around here. It's a big Friday, needless to say. The summer's coming to an end, which is kind of sad. I mean, I can't believe it's August 18th already.
It's cold outside?
Yeah, it's been cold all day. It's 20 degrees or so, maybe it feels...
20 degrees? Oh, I shouldn't be in a golf shirt. What am I doing?
I know, exactly.
Something on
it's a
your
cold
mind
one
again?
there, but I'm
Let's
getting
work
ready to
through
get
it together.
locomoted for the after
2
show,
heads
so
are
join
better
me
than
over
one.
there. But it's 4 o'clock. Thank you to everybody for supporting the show. I don't know what our like
You
count
better
was
drink a brew on the after show.
at the end of the day. Yeah, we'll figure it out. 800 likes. Thank you so much for all of that. Hopefully we'll get more than that on the after show coming right up. But it's Friday. A lot of people heading home, so it's going to be a good one. What a wild day. Lots of stuff to talk about.
Crazy.
We're going to talk about AI. We're going to talk about some earnings. We're going to check out for Pan W.
Palo Alto.
Coming up pretty soon, so I'm going to get over to there. So let's wrap this up.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get out of here because Pan W could report at any moment. It's been an absolute blast. Shout out to everyone. Midday Max, obviously doing a great job there with Sharif. On the 1s and 2s, Fabian, Ramin, you guys are crushing it. Shout out to all the viewers, man. Brennan doing a great job as well. Sean, you're about to kick it off on the after show, which is going to be wild. So do not go anywhere.
It might not be that wild.
Stay right here. I think Pan W is going to be absolutely wild.
Yes.
So that's going to move. That's going to move this afternoon.
Excited
so
for
let's,
that.
without further ado, we're going to be back on Monday, but go absolutely nowhere. It's the after show, and it's right now.
Hey guys, yeah, welcome in. We'll get you caught up first off on how we end off a Friday that, let's be honest, started off pretty quiet, ends pretty quiet. Hey Hey guys, yeah, 2 o'clock, 2 hours to go on a very positive afternoon here. Once again, led by the NASDAQ and tech stocks specifically. We saw one that popped up just as we were about to come on here, NXGN to the upside in a big way. Just following this as well. We're going to explore a possible sale of the company. That was the headline that just came through on this one. 7% to the upside right now. Volume tailing off pretty quick here, but just a heads up on NXGN. That, on the other hand, is how things are looking as far as the S&P 500 is concerned. Very little of the red left over here. It's turned into quite the day. J&J, AbbVie, XOM, a few other energy stocks. That's about all you need to know. Everything else is positive, including the banks. They were negative to kick things off early on this morning. Back to the upside in a big way. A ton of green on this board. Not huge moves, mind you. There is one or two here. That's Schwab, I guess. 2.6. BR. We'll have a look at that anyway. Banks to the upside, Amazon to the upside, Walmart, HD, all the retailers looking pretty good here heading into the final couple hours. Tesla
If you're not sure what to do next, how about I take you on a walk?
In a monster way, 4.7% there for Netflix on that subs note. We missed it early on this morning. More subscribers than expected last month in the U.S. specifically on that ad-supported tier specifically as well. 2.7 there for Intel. Broadcom I saw is going to come next week. Earnings from Broadcom coming up next week as well, so we'll have that to look forward to. Oracle, Meta, ACM, CRM to name a few. CRM also coming through next week with their earnings report. So still some notable names to come as far as earnings are concerned. Still some notable events to come as far as Jackson Hole is concerned coming up over the next couple of days, Thursday, Friday. Friday going to be the headliner. We'll get Fed Chair Powell making some comments at 10 a.m. because why not on Friday morning regarding his continued work towards getting this inflation problem under control. A few other things to note. Obviously, NVIDIA will get into right off the bat here to kick things off. Earnings to come 4:20 tonight. Make sure you're with Sean coming up after 4 o'clock for the recap show. He's going to have a great guest come through, talk a little bit about not only NVIDIA as it happens. Again, 4:20 we'll get those numbers, but maybe what to look for going forward as far as opportunities are concerned. What a day it's turned into, guys. Pretty positive across the board.
It definitely is. I'm like chuckling to myself because I left this morning saying, I'll find my way back into an NVIDIA long. Of course I will.
Yeah. Where's the stream?
I did not find myself back into an NVIDIA long, and it's at $470 NVIDIA to the upside. So congratulations to everyone who found their way into some kind of a long in NVIDIA today, because it's been an absolute beast. Not much else to say. Again, what the folk, that thing is at the high of the day. I finally joined that party. And oddly enough, despite NVIDIA constantly going up, my Marvell short's doing okay, which is weird because NVIDIA is up 3%. That is the story. We should have a count on how many times we say NVIDIA in the afternoon show, because I promise you, whatever you think it is, just take the over. It is what everybody is waiting for. Huge earnings. About the only thing no one's ready for is for NVIDIA to not move more than 5%, and then for the market to bark over the next month. That's the only thing no one's pricing in.
Yo, what's up? Okay, here we go. What's up to Ty Alexander? I still love you, dog, but I'm asking in the afternoon show. What are you asking?
Asking me what?
What are you asking? What are you asking? You can ask me on any show.
Where I missed that. Where it's
all good. It's all good. I don't know. Ty Alexander, what's up? Anyways, okay, so
I don't even see that message.
don't worry about it. You're probably in the wrong chat. Is that the one that's actually moving now, or did I click on the wrong one?
Maybe I'm in the wrong one.
Oh, Spino. I think you're in the wrong one. Spino Master is making Chipotle pork loin. Very nice. That's a nice on that. All right, so we've been short AMD, which has been a nice as well. You talked about NVIDIA, and obviously they're coming through tonight. Join me tonight, and we will go all over that. We have Chris Bretcher coming through, 42 years experience on the CBO. He used to work in the IBM pit. Currently running some butterflies options on NVIDIA. So we'll talk all about options with him. We'll talk all about everything with him tonight. And just another guest to come through. So I just want to talk about what we're doing here on AMD. We have one stop out when it broke this high right there, 109.25. But other than that, man, we screwed up early. We talked about that. We got out of the way. Thank God we got out of the way there. Trying to get a little smarter. There, I can't see that on the screen, but there it is. And then we just shorted this nice little bump up again on AMD. And just trying to be patient, man. Patience always.
Something on your mind again?
But we'll short AMD.
Let's work
We
through
are
it
excited.
together.
I mean, Nvidia's
Two
back
heads are
all-time
better than
highs
one.
right now. Give or take $11. You're going to get some fat fingerprints that are going to send this thing up through 500 anyways at the end of the day. Just waiting for anticipation for the earnings. I hope it comes a little bit earlier than 4:20. We'll be here to cover it all. I just want to go quickly here and talk about what that poll was at. Oh, I tweeted this out. How cool is this? Right, I don't know if you guys can see this here. Oh no, it's gone now. There was some guy here cruising on here. If I go like this, check out this. Times Square. This must be for a movie or something. Hey Neil, you ever see anything like this? This is a human-controlled drone.
I've seen that.
The guy has the controller in his hand. So I tweeted that this is us waiting out for Nvidia earnings. You know, you're looking down, you're trying to figure out what's going to happen with those earnings. But what I really wanted to find out, oh no, now I'll find
It's
it
the
later.
Goblin.
Oh yeah, here's this. Yeah, what's up to the Jura, the coffee machine this morning? The Goblin. That's the word I was
From
looking for.
Spider-Man, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, they must be filming something right here. But
No,
here's
no, I don't know if it is for sure. It looks like the
looks
Goblin.
like, looks like. I mean, as I said, man, this is like a U.S. election right now on Nvidia. Will we break 500 bucks? I mean, I didn't put like, are we going to be 400 or 500? It's just, will we break $500 on earnings? We're at 470 right now. And look at this, man. It is winning right now, which is a little bit of a surprise. I'm going to put this in the chat. You guys can go ahead and vote on it.
That's not technically winning.
It's only 5.
That's flat.
This is flat. This is about as flat as it can get. But, you know, at the end, if someone's going to raise the trophy, it would be no right now. So let's go over and see what's going to happen. It's funny, only 481 votes. We'll see if we can get a little bit more on that right now. We can even put the poll on as well for that. But okay, I go to address some of this Microsoft trade as well because this is a name that we're short right now. Whoa, we just got a nice fill downside right there. So yeah, making a little bit of money back here. Let's punch some more out at 50 and see what happens with the rest of the day here with Mr. Softy, Brendo.
Caught Ramin off guard there. Foot Locker downside in a big way as we said in the pre-market. Really hasn't been much of a bounce.
If you're not sure what to
We
do
got back about
next,
16,
how
so
about I
guess
take you on a walk?
There's that. If you missed it, yeah, not good. Right across the board. Same store sales downside forecast was questionable to say the least. They came out with a call during the pre-market as well and said even more cautious remarks in the way of what has come for Foot Locker. So, yeah, it was a negative day to say the least. We can't even, I mean, right now it's testing 16 again here for Foot Locker.
Yeah, they beat on the top line, but they definitely missed on the bottom line, as well as the year-over-year net loss. Last year, they were able to see a $50 million profit. This year, they're looking at $250 million in the red on the quarter. So it's tough. They talked about, you know, a lot of macroeconomic headwinds, as well as the dreaded shrinkage word, Brendo, as they continue to suffer losses from that.
Why do I feel like we're going to hear that more and more as time goes on here? I was just double checking relative volume on the day. Wow, 23.5 for relative volume for Foot Locker today.
You're right though, because all the retailers are talking about the same thing, and it is a legitimate problem. There's absolutely no question about it. It's something like some shoe has to drop, but I guess a bunch of round of earnings where companies are losing 20-30% in a single day, maybe that gets people's attention. There was one, we're gonna get to Peloton in a second. There were probably two interesting looking SSR bounces. Stocks are down more than 10%. I thought Peloton was better. I don't know that you can say that because, you know, Foot Locker at 15 was probably just as good. It wicked underneath 15. It ends up getting to 16.5, so it does a 10% bounce. Peloton did a 10% bounce, so you could have had either one of those two, and we'll get to Peloton in a sec. It never got through the open high. So it ends up wicking. You guys saw this in the afternoon show because Max was in the long. That's 16.5. It could not beat it. That's almost exactly 10% from the low on Peloton. And only because Sean put this poll up, and I said that poll looked a lot like the Ross Perot election.
Yeah, that's
I stand corrected. I'm talking about because Sean put up the poll. It was 43% NVIDIA 500 yes, 43 no, and then Ponzi
Something
scheme
on your
was
mind
12%.
again?
But Ross
Let's work
Perot
through
got
it together.
19% of the popular
2
vote
heads are
that
better
year,
than one.
which that's almost twice as much as I thought was true. Isn't that amazing? Like, I've seen the video of when he bought the like the hour-long like ad during like primetime TV. Imagine somebody pulling that off now. I'm not trying to get into the whole politics thing, but it's almost unimaginable that somebody ran independently in the U.S. and got 19% of the popular vote. However, he didn't get any electoral seats because that's how the system works. So that's all I will say about that. I just found it interesting. I made the comments in the morning show, and I just wanted to give respect to Ross Perot for doing much better than I thought he did in the past. But Foot Locker, one thing to keep in mind here is look at how big this move is to the downside. I don't know what the next shoe is dropping, but there's been a lot of because of this. So you see a big move to the downside today. Nike broke 100 and is starting to bounce here. So Nike got underneath and retested this level from back in December of 2022 and is starting a bounce. If there's going to be some kind of a relief rally for some of these retail names, I'm thinking low-key Nike back to 100 tomorrow. As long as this is flawed.
You are not welcome here.
Everyone hold hands. Make yourselves at home.
Now, Will, I need to get pulverized.
We did talk about here because this uranium ETF rate on our after show. That's why you have to join on Monday if you can, and then today's only Wednesday. We talked about this breaking out, so a shout out to that as uranium keeps on going up. We also have CCJ, of course, Cameco